All right, now we all remember COVID-19. I mean, how could you forget it? Some people, that affected their entire life. Like you might have lost someone to COVID. I unfortunately never got COVID. Unfortunately, I meant to say fortunately, never got COVID. People around me didn't really suffer that much from COVID, but I know there's a lot of families that did. And there's apparently this new virus that's going around that is like, people are saying it's really dangerous. So we're going to check it out. Got my boy Tommy NFG here. I love this guy's room. He's got his plaques, which hopefully I have one soon. We're on the way, man. We're on the way. He's got his plaques, his weird alien on the wall. He's got Thriller by Michael Jackson in the back. Another album. He's got Gear 5, Luffy in the back, a mushroom. This is a vibe, man. This is a vibe. So yeah, we're going to check out the video. I haven't heard anything about this virus at all, so I don't really know what it does or causes, but apparently it's dangerous. So we're going to check it out. Let's check it out.
I want you to take yourself back to a certain date in 2020. March 13th, 2020. I should add that this mostly...
That is like when COVID like started to affect everything. I think that's when I got sent home from school. I think I was in like 9th grade. I don't remember.
The people in America. You woke up that Friday morning like every other Friday of that year. Dragged yourself out of bed to the bathroom to prepare yourself either for...
It's weird. I always wonder how life would have been if COVID never happened. I feel like life would have went by so much slower. I don't know. Feels like since 2021, 2022, 2023, it's like those years don't feel real in a way. I don't know.
For work. While in school, your friend looks at you and says,
"Yo, Uzi drop."
I feel like since 2025 though, the world has been getting a little better. I feel like 2023 was like, that was probably my least favorite year. I don't really have that many good memories from that year. So yeah.
Turn on take. You gotta listen to that.
You listen to it while in class to see if it is really hard, and indeed it is. This would be Lil Uzi's last good album, but you don't know that. As the day starts to end in school, the principal comes on the PA system and lets everyone know due to a little virus called COVID-19, school would be closed for 2 weeks. You cheer with your friends, hyped that you're basically getting a week.
Yay, and then like 10 million people die.
Break in the middle of the year for free, not knowing what it will turn into. If you worked a job, you either got an email from your employer that the company would be switching to remote work temporarily, or you got an email that you were fired and to get out immediately. This little virus would then turn
you got laid off
into one of the worst pandemics to happen in over a century. And after it ended, the world all promised itself that we'd be prepared and this shouldn't happen not only in our century, but many to come.
Health officials around the world are racing to contain a deadly outbreak of Hantavirus that's linked to this cruise ship in the Atlantic.
Oh God. Time to start buying up all the toilet paper, am I right?
Yeah, so if you haven't heard of it by now, we're having
Tommy's growing his afro back. Because I remember he had like braids like last year. He's growing his afro back.
Another bit of a virus issue around the world. Even not including COVID, it seems like every couple of years, there's always a virus panic hitting the whole world. In the 2010s, you had the Ebola pandemic, which happened in Africa, but cases spread all over the world. The most racist swore if they interacted with an African person, they would get it and die next week. I gotta admit though, that Ebola song did kind of go hard. You had the measles outbreak in 2019 where a record amount of people were getting
I remember this. I don't remember COVID. Like I do remember COVID. I don't remember COVID like developing. I remember like it hit, and I do remember measles though. I don't remember the very start of COVID, because apparently COVID was around since like 2019.
On the world.
In America, it just wasn't as bad.
New York got hit the most, and there were 1,200 cases across 31 states. Crazy how this didn't matter, because next year's virus would make that outbreak look like a little cakewalk. And now the newest panic we have is this virus called the Hantavirus. Here's some info. Hantavirus has been a thing since the 1950s and was fully identified by a doctor in 1978. There's been cases everywhere under the sun since it got identified. It's spread by the worst creatures we know, of course, rodents. And you get it by inhaling their waste in the air or by directly touching it. Don't know why the you'd be directly touching rat. At that point, you just ask for the death sentence. I don't feel bad. And it's only supposed to be from rodent to human until cases started happening from human to human. They called it the Andes version of the virus, and the first case was identified in 1995 of someone getting it from human contact. It happens here and there, but it's way more rare than getting it directly from rats yourself. So you may be wondering why everyone's panicking about it. Well, we can fully blame this dumbass who decided to make a video talking about a Hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship he went on. His name is Jake Rosemartin, and he decided to go on a cruise with a bunch of other people from different countries. Not knowing that a couple had the virus, they brung it on the ship and all hell broke loose. The cruise was not cheap either. Like, they must have been using today's
Oh my God.
sponsor Current to
One couple had it and they spread
save
it.
up for this. If you've ever wished payday came sooner, this might actually help. There's a banking app called Current with a bunch of useful features, and one of the main because that's literally what it's designed for. Now back to the video. 3 people died on the ship from it, and one of the doctors got sick treating someone. So with him panicking because everyone got told to quarantine until further notice, he made an update to the outside world talking about his experience.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives.
Low-key, no one would have known about this that much if he didn't make the video, but now that's all anyone's worried about. People aren't over a little world-stopping moment from 5 to 6 years ago and don't want it again. It doesn't even take just this. Everyone was panicking when they announced a new strain of COVID like monkeypox. In a way, the whole world has World War II soldier PTSD on anything happening. Instead of hearing a helicopter and having a heart attack thinking you're in the war field, we hear a new virus drop and have PTSD of Among Us and those TikToks of which room you would sleep in the hardest. And also the lines he had in the videos what's really pissing.
That's so niche, dude. Oh, I would sleep for like 16 hours.
You would sleep in the hardest.
If you put something other than Tom and Jerry
and also
on,
the lines he had in the videos what's really pissing people off, because he said we're not just a story, we're people with families, lives, and friends. Like, that isn't everyone in the world. Are y'all the only ones with families and friends? No one even knew about the headlines of story until you made this video, buddy. People's first reaction to hearing the story was saying a couple of things, one being do not dock the Pope because we don't want it to spread even more. Other people said just dock it at one country and don't let them leave until it's solved. There's also people saying f it, 150 people versus a potential 8 billion person pandemic with a disease that's
just sink the ship.
A 40% fatality.
Imagine they just sink the ship, it just goes down. Well, at least we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Can lay dormant in you without you knowing for weeks. In the wise words a man once said,
he's rapping now. Nuke the whole generation. If it were up to me, I would drop an atomic bomb on the whole generation.
Y'all are about to get so mad at me, and I know I don't post like this. I usually would post on my other page.
Sink the ship. I'm not doing another global cock. Sink the ship. I'm not doing another global pandemic. So sink the motherfucker. Wow. I don't care.
Like, truthfully, sink the ship. Sink the ship, okay?
Sink the ship. Sink it. I don't care. I've seen enough.
I don't care.
Sink the fucking ship.
I better sink that ship like it's a game of Battleship. F2, hit. I'm not even trying to be insensitive, but we cannot do this right now. We cannot do this right now.
It seems like the general public is taking this well. The PTSD people have over COVID is beyond what people could think. If you said this pre-2020, people would have thought you were crazy and a bad person. But now there's a lot of people saying they genuinely don't care, whatever it takes to stop a potential pandemic. And even though scientists and health organizations are saying it's a low chance to turn into another COVID, didn't y'all say that last time? If there was some horrible scenario where it did somehow turn into a pandemic, this would be way worse. A 40% fatality rate is diabolical. You got a 4 in 10 chance of dying. With COVID, unless if you were really old or really
Is that just an average or is that like per person?
You didn't have to worry about
it's per person.
Much and could tank it. This would be a damn near mass extinction event in every country and there's still no cure. There's also other reasons I wouldn't want it to be a pandemic, at least in the US. There will be zero safety precautions set here. People could barely handle the last lockdown and we're going insane every day. And obviously while it sucked for everyone, it was for a reason. This time people are just gonna keep going outside every day and passing it like no tomorrow. We can guarantee there wouldn't be a lockdown order even if it was needed. We barely got one last time. The president was forced to do it by his team because people were dropping
not even care
every day. And also bleach didn't work as a cure.
Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out
in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or?
Yeah,
Injecting bleach inside of you? You're an idiot, man.
lockdown order or not, if I see thousands of dropping a day, my ass is staying inside. And even if there was a vaccine released, people wouldn't trust it and wouldn't take it. They think it's some secret plot to have everyone's blood injected with Satan's and
Yeah, it's the mark of the beast, bro.
at his will.
Dude, I remember no, I'm not gonna get into
Will
that.
activate your chip and have you walk yourself to the pits of hell. People took one Satan's and at his will activate your chip and have you walk yourself to the pits of hell.
The Elon Musk microchip.
People took one COVID vaccine and were doing the most, acting like their whole life was over and they never recovered. There was people faking that they had permanent violent seizures because of it. It would be kind of funny if there did so happen to be a pandemic and certain people don't trust the vaccine released. Because this ain't like COVID. It's a 40% fatality rate. Your ass is just gonna die. Those 60-year-old
It's like Marquez Brownlee. That reminded me of Steve Jobs, dude. Who, if you don't know, died because he didn't want to get any. He didn't believe in, like, you know, not medical research. He didn't want to get any treatment.
Because this ain't like COVID. It's a 40%
And because Marquez Brownlee is a tech creator who talks about Apple a lot, kind of made me think of it.
fatality rate. Your ass is just gonna die. Those 60-year-old MAGA boomers are gonna drop like flies. We also definitely are
Yeah, I ain't getting that vaccine.
not getting COVID.
That's gonna turn me into a liberal. It's gonna turn me into a
Just
Democrat.
like last time. You're gonna have to thug it out, and if you can't make it and you don't have a job, it was a fun life for you, I guess. It's not like the check would do.
I don't have
much,
a job.
though. Right now, in this state of the economy and around the world,
I'd be
we
screwed,
have,
man.
certain problems going in certain parts of the world. Like, people literally would not be able to afford to go through it again. At least pre-COVID, the economy was in
You have a purge? We might, dude.
decent shape. You can guarantee, though, someone's boss is gonna say no to remote work and tell them they have to come in. Something also that would be annoying is having to get used to social interactions again. Everyone was low-key anti-social after the lockdown orders were lifted because we were inside for so long. You had to learn how to communicate again because it just felt weird.
Yeah,
Maybe some people.
I feel like COVID like ruined like people being extroverts and people knowing how to speak to people. Nowadays, you can't even ask someone how their day's going. You could be at the park going for a walk. You could ask someone like that's walking past you, "Hey man, how you doing?" They'd be like, "Why are you speaking to me, stranger?" Like, dude, we're all human beings. We're all Homo sapiens. Can we not talk? Like,
did better, but I know for me it was rough. Transitioning from being on Discord all day with the homies playing games, not touching a speck of sunlight, to driving places and hanging out in public was a bit of an adjustment. Some people say they still ain't recovered since back then. Yeah, if you still think
That's
you're
crazy.
recovering from your antisocialness from COVID,
you're just a
probably
loser.
just antisocial. It would also be horrible for the youth considering how much they got held back from it. Everyone older in Gen Z just barely made it out. Only 30% of Gen Alpha kids can read proficiently currently. Throwing them in another
30%, only 30% of Gen Alpha can read.
lockdown in their childhood is going to be a death sentence. They might end up
We are
being
done.
the most failed generation by society's problems. I got hit by COVID in my junior/senior year, but at least I can say growing up through my core development years, I was good. I couldn't imagine my first time trying to learn the ABCs was through a Zoom class. This time they're going to have AI too, so all the kids are going to cheat on their assignments.
Having
The
AI
methods
teach
people
you.
used to have to do in 2020 to cheat were absurd. We became scientists in our own ways. People
Yeah,
would
dude, trying to cheat ChatGPT, dude. We had to actually. I remember back in the day, not back in the day. It's not like I graduated that long ago. Back in the day, meaning like when I was in like middle school. That was a long time ago. Back in the day, you had to like manually type in the question. You had to scroll through websites to find like a PDF with the answers. Oh my god!
pre-record them doing work on Zoom when they were sleeping.
You put in more work cheating than you did
This
actually
fat guy
doing
in
the
my
work.
gym class in high school decided to pre-record himself working out and just played it on loop to pass his class. That fat guy totally wasn't me or anything. That I didn't do that. People would smear
did do that.
Vaseline on their cameras and tell the teacher the camera was broken so they could cheat. You don't need to do all that. Now that we got ChatGPT, it'll do the work for you. I do remember those Zoom times nostalgically, though. My teacher's classes got rated at least 7 times through the year. I'll end it off with some positive news, though. The reason why health organizations and governments are saying this won't be COVID 2.0 is because they have decades of research on this compared to COVID-19 that was brand new. So the world isn't starting with zero information on it and have to rush and figure out what what to do. Also, since it's been contained to this one ship, it isn't jumping from hundreds of people to hundreds of people like before. If you were in the vicinity of someone with COVID, as you know, your fate to get it was guaranteed. I'll never forget the one time I got it. It was from one of my dumbass homies who decided to pull up to the group meet with it without telling any of our friends, and he gave it to literally everyone there. With Hantavirus, it's mainly people with romantic partners who get it, or being around someone who's sick with it. So if you're lonely and get no play, pat yourself on the back. You may have just prevented yourself from dying. Who knew being a loser would
the only time we're being single is...
COVID also spread way faster than this, so we would see a lot more cases if it was like it. I remember waking up and checking COVID cases. It would go from 3 to 10 to...
Yo, I remember that. It would be like 3,000 people. Next day, 10,000 people. Next day, 41,000 people. Next day, 103,000. Next day, 226,000. Next day, 398 million or 398,000. Like, it shot up.
200 to 1,000 to 10,000. And technically, a mutation could happen to the virus and a new one could pop up. But most studies show when a virus gets mutated, it either stays the same or turns into nothing. At least, hopefully, that's the case, or... humanity's in for one hell of an extinction event. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Everyone stay safe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Don't get the what was this virus called? I forgot already. I think he said it at the beginning. I don't know.
His last good album, but you don't.
I don't know.
It says,
doesn't matter. It's not gonna turn into COVID, right? And I watch this video 3 months from now when everyone's dying. But yeah, I just wanted to watch this because I heard about this cruise that had like this virus, and I haven't really seen much about it. And now I know. It doesn't seem like it's getting really popular. I heard about it like a week ago, and then it kind of just vanished off the internet. The virus fell off. The virus fell off. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed though. Join the Discord and go check out my gaming channel. Links will be in the description below. This video will also be in the description below if you want to watch it for yourself. And until next time, hope you guys have a great day or night, and peace out and have a good day.